Most people quit their goals by February, and the reason has nothing to do with willpower. Best-selling author James Clear studied why change fails, and his answer breaks down into one simple rule that anyone can use starting today. Stick around, because this one idea can quietly rewrite the rest of the year. Clear wrote Atomic Habits, a book that sold more than 20 million copies. His core claim is simple. Goals set a direction. Systems decide whether anyone actually moves. So, what is the rule everyone keeps repeating from his recent talks? Improve by 1% every day and let the math do the rest. That sounds tiny. On any single day, nobody would notice it. But habits compound. A small gain repeated daily does not add up in a straight line. It grows on a curve, and over a year, those tiny gains turn into something that barely resembles where a person started. The same math works in reverse. Small bad habits compound too. Skipping one workout does nothing. Skipping it for months becomes the real damage, quietly, without anyone noticing until the results show up. So, how does a person actually use this? Clear breaks it into 4 steps, and each one solves a different reason habits collapse. Step 1 is making the habit obvious. Most people fail before they even start because their environment works against them. A guitar left in a closet stays untouched. A guitar standing in the middle of a room gets picked up. Reducing the distance between a person and the habit removes the biggest reason people quit by day 3. Step 2 is making the habit attractive, and this is where identity comes in. Clear argues people are not just changing habits, they are trying to change who they believe they are. Someone who says, "I want to quit smoking," is fighting their own identity. Someone who says, "I am not a smoker," has already shifted how they see themselves, and the habit becomes proof of that shift, rather than a chore forced onto it. Step 3 is making the habit easy. Most people try to change everything at once. A new diet, a new gym schedule, a new sleep routine, all starting the same week. Clear's advice flips that. Shrink the habit until failure becomes nearly impossible. Skip the hour-long workout. Just put the shoes on. Once the shoes are on, most people go anyway. Step 4 is making the habit satisfying. Brains repeat what feels good right away, not what pays off months later. That is why junk food beats vegetables and scrolling beats reading. Clear suggests building in a small, immediate reward, something that gives the brain a reason to return tomorrow. Crossing a habit off a list works. Watching a streak grow works. Anything that delivers a quick hit of satisfaction keeps the loop alive. These 4 steps are sometimes summarized as the 4 laws of behavior change, and Clear built them by working backward from the opposite question: what actually causes a habit to fail? A habit that stays invisible in the environment never gets triggered. A habit that feels unappealing gets postponed indefinitely. A habit that demands too much effort gets skipped on any day that feels even slightly harder than usual. And a habit that delivers no immediate payoff loses out every time to something that does, even when the long-term math clearly favors the harder choice. Each of the 4 steps exists specifically to close one of those 4 failure points, which is part of why they work better applied together than in isolation. Here is where the real payoff shows up, and it explains why most people quit too early. Clear calls it the plateau of latent potential. This is the stretch where someone stays consistent and sees nothing change. Most people quit here, assuming the habit failed. In reality, this is usually the exact point before a breakthrough. Ice does not melt gradually as the temperature climbs from 25 degrees to 31. It stays solid the entire way, and then at 32 degrees, it turns to water in an instant. The 1 degree that made the difference looked identical to every degree before it. Habits behave the same way. Results stay invisible until suddenly they are not. That single idea changes how anyone should track progress. Relying on motivation to decide whether to show up guarantees failure on the exact days it matters most, because motivation is unreliable and mood swings daily. A system removes that decision entirely. The choice gets made once, months earlier, when the habit gets built. Showing up becomes automatic instead of optional, and that shift, more than any single trick, is what separates people who change their year from people who simply plan to.
But there is a catch most people never see coming, and it explains why good intentions quietly turn into bad habits without anyone noticing. Bad habits get built the exact same way good ones do, through the same 4 steps: obvious, attractive, easy, satisfying. A habit of checking a phone the moment someone wakes up follows that pattern perfectly. The notification sitting right there, the small dopamine hit waiting on the other side of a tap. Recognizing that bad habits use the identical structure as good ones gives anyone a way to break them down and interrupt the cycle, instead of relying on willpower alone to fight them off. Clear's own suggestion for breaking a bad habit is essentially the 4 laws run in reverse. Make it invisible by removing the trigger from sight. Make it unattractive by connecting it consciously to a cost the person actually cares about. Make it difficult by adding friction. A few extra steps between impulse and action is often enough to interrupt a habit that only survives on convenience. And make it unsatisfying, sometimes as simple as asking a friend to hold a small amount of money that only gets returned after a set number of habit-free days. There is one more piece worth understanding before trying any of this. Clear compares habit stacking to attaching a new behavior onto something already automatic. After pouring morning coffee, write 1 sentence. After brushing teeth, do 10 push-ups. The existing habit becomes the trigger for the new one, borrowing momentum that already exists instead of building a routine from nothing. Most people overestimate how much willpower a new habit demands and underestimate how much a good trigger can carry the load instead. For anyone building a system in 2026, one idea from Clear cuts through everything else. Environments matter more than effort. Move the phone charger out of the bedroom, and the temptation to scroll before sleep disappears without a fight. Prep the gym clothes the night before, and the morning decision that usually kills the workout never gets the chance to happen. None of it takes extra energy. It just removes the excuse standing between a person and the habit. So the next time a plan starts falling apart by week 2, the fix is not more willpower. It is a smaller first step, a shorter distance to the habit, and a system boring enough to survive a bad day. There is one practical trap worth naming before wrapping this up. Most people try to fix 5 habits at once in January, then wonder why none of them stick past week 3. Clear's research points to a much narrower approach. Pick 1 habit. Build the 4 steps around that single habit until it runs almost without thought. Only then add a second one. Stacking too many new systems at the same time spreads focus too thin, and focus, not motivation, is the resource actually running low by week 3. That's the whole method, and it works because it respects how people actually behave. Drop a comment with the 1% change ready to try this month. Hit subscribe for more breakdowns like this one, and share this with someone still waiting for motivation to show up on its own.